Hello, Natty T here, your vibrational coach. Today, we're talking about how to get an optimal creative process, the 3 things that will stand in your way, and how to fix them. Okay, and I'm going to do that with the help of this funky looking graphic right here. Okay, so basically, what we're looking at here is your outcome, what you want to see, your optimal creative process. What is an optimal creative process? It's basically the process that lends itself to your specific creativity. Boom. That's it. In other words, if you were to take whoever it is that you admire in your creative industry and say, that's who I look up to, if you went and checked out what their process was, you'd find out that they have there's certain things that they do that helps them to get into the zone, okay? And this is usually different for everyone, but at the basis of it, it's all the same. The same things are happening within you to create that inspiration, but what happens is different people access it differently. So we're going to talk about what it is that you're trying to achieve and how you're getting it and how you can get it. And we're going to flip that all around. So the 3 things that let you know that you are way, way off of your optimal creative process are these 3 things. Number 1, you will start to procrastinate. You'll start to not want to do your work. You'll not be as keen to finish that particular project, or so on and so forth. We all know what procrastination is. We all know that it affects us sometimes. We're not always sure why. Sometimes we just don't feel like it, okay? However, what will happen is we don't like procrastination. We demonize it, and so what happens next is block. When you keep acting, you keep pushing, the ultimate word being pushing through that procrastination. So you keep working even though you don't want to. You haven't addressed why you're procrastinating. You just keep working. What starts to happen? Your brain goes, hey, well, I don't want to do this, so I'm going to stop giving you ideas so that you stop doing what I don't want you to do. Okay? You get blocked. And what happens if you just keep going when you're blocked? When, especially if you're a freelancer and your client needs the piece, or you're working for a company and your boss needs you to finish something, what happens? You keep pushing through that creative block and you what? You burn out. Okay, this is how you end up in burnout. Let me tell you something. If you're, say, a music producer, all right, and you're really, really hot, you're in the zone, you could spend 36 hours straight in the studio and not get burnt out. And here's why. You don't get in the studio thinking to yourself, I need to complete this in 36 hours. You don't go into the studio going, I enjoy this so much, I'm going to stay here for 36 hours. No, what happens is you start working and you get inspired, and that inspiration just keeps stacking on itself. So it doesn't look like a plan. You're not planning to be there for 36 hours. What happens is you're thinking, I'll take a break after I get this done. But by the time you get that done, you've had an inspiration about something else that you're excited to do, and then something else you're excited to do. And you look up and you go, wait, it's been 36 hours. I didn't mean to be here for that long. But at the end of that 36 hours, you feel amazing. You just made the most amazing piece of music that you think you ever have. You enjoyed it so darn much, gosh dang, that you just kept going. However, you can't plan to do that. You try to do that, you plan to do that, and you will burn out. And so what's the difference? The difference is that zone that you get in, that inspiration, that flow state. And it's a state of being, okay? And the biggest problem that people have is they try to create it from a very action-orientated place, which doesn't work. When we try to make it work, it doesn't work, okay? When we try to force it, it doesn't happen. So how do we get it on demand? So that's when we have to take a look at what we would prefer. We need to flip the script, so to speak, right? So instead of procrastination, we would prefer eagerness. Instead of inspiration, block, we would prefer inspiration. Instead of burnout, we want to be in the flow state, okay? Now, I want you to notice that these three things, the first three are numbered: procrastination, block, burnout. Why? Because the first indication that you're on that creative decline is procrastination. You'll feel that before you become blocked, and you will get blocked before you burn out, okay? And if you're not noticing when this is happening to you, I mean, that's just your first step. Start to notice. The second thing that you will notice about these numbers is our new green words. They are numbered too, but they're numbered in the opposite direction, which is flow state, inspiration, eagerness. And there's a reason for this. It's because you need to get into the flow state first. That is number one priority. Then your inspiration comes to you, and then eagerness happens. That flow state is where all your control is. After that, inspiration is a byproduct of being in that flow state, and eagerness is the byproduct of being inspired. Just like we were talking about the music producer who's in the studio for 36 hours straight, it's because that inspiration, when they get the idea, they're so eager to implement it. There's no procrastination. Don't think, oh, well, I think I'll do that tomorrow. You think, oh, I can't wait to do that now. Okay? And so they are byproducts of being in this flow state. So what do we got to do? We got to get into this flow state. How do we do that? Okay, well, any process that we are looking at creatively, there are three things that we need to do, okay? We need to feel, we need to think, and we need to act. And we need to do them in that order. Remember how I was saying that we're in a different order now? We're going to go backwards. Most people are trying to tackle their procrastination and their creative block and their burnout from an action-orientated place. If I just get up and do the thing, I'll get into the flow. Well, the thing is, you might get some momentum going and complete some stuff, but is it ever your best work? Not unless somehow that leads to you finding a flow state. Now, sometimes the thing that you do creatively, if you just start doing it, will create a flow state. Why? Because it's fun. And if you're not in your head about it, if it's something that you can do without thinking too much, and you can stay in that feeling place and it puts you in that feeling place, it might just put you straight into that flow state. And you might know that, and that might be part of your optimal creative process, OCP, let's call it that. It's a mouthful. So the thing that we have to remember, though, is we must feel first. We feel first, then we think, then we act. Don't try and push through procrastination. You will become blocked. Don't try to push through your block. You will burn out. Don't try and push through your burnout. You will die. Okay, maybe you won't die. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll work yourself to death. But the point that I'm making is we've got to slide in a different place. The action part doesn't work. You know this. You've done it. You've tried it. Everybody has, because that's what's expected of us. That's what we're told is the thing to do. Just do the thing. Get motivated. Now, there's a difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation will get you the stuff done. It will get done. Inspiration will not only get the stuff done, you will enjoy getting the stuff done, and the stuff that you get done, you will be pleased with, and probably a lot of other people too. So that's what we're aiming for. I want you guys, if nothing else, to take away from this, that your creative process starts in the feel place, not in the act place. Feel first, then think, then act. So how do we do this? How does this work? So let's take a look at how we use the feeling part to the best of our advantage. So we're talking about emotion and relaxation. Basically, when you're in the flow state, take note. If you've never taken note before, the next time you're in that flow state and you're feeling really excited and inspired, notice that even if you're energetic, your body is not tense, it's relaxed. Notice that you are uni-focusing. You are not focusing on all the other stuff that you need to get done. You are right in the zone. You are focused on the thing that you want to be focused on right now. That relaxation comes from observing your emotions. It's understanding if you are not relaxed and why you're not relaxed. If you're not relaxed, it's because you're feeling a certain way. Now, the thing is, how do we shift our emotions? Because this can be done with thinking and acting. However, we just said we've got to start with feeling. So we want to observe our feelings. This is where you can use things like meditation, which is an action. Yeah, I get it. But I'll explain the difference in a second. You can start thinking on purpose, having more positive thoughts. You can do something that you know that will relax you. Take a bubble bath, go for a ride, go for a walk, get a massage. Doesn't matter what it is. If it relaxes you, you might want to go and do that. You also want to think, in other words, think kindly, take everything off the top of your head and start to actually give yourself permission to feel better. Okay? And you don't have to get there all at once. This part could take an hour. It could take a week. It could take a month. It could take a year. But if you don't do this part first, none of the rest matters. Okay? So what is the difference between the thinking and the thinking and acting part of it if we're doing actions to feel? It's because our number one priority is how we feel. We think to feel better. We act to relax. Okay? Not the other way around. Also, these are things that are already working for you. If meditation is something that you suck at and it doesn't relax you, it just frustrates you, don't meditate. There are other meditative activities you can do that will put you in that flow state if you're not good at just sitting still and focusing on your breath. So what you're really wanting there is that emotion, that feeling of just relaxation. Just let it all go. You don't have to feel good as long as you just don't feel bad. Okay? When your body starts to relax, find satisfaction. Next, we're going to think. Now, this is where you start to think on purpose. This is where you shift your mindset and acknowledge the connection that you just made, because that's what's going to happen. When you just let it all go, when you stop thinking so much and you stop having to act and you're just doing it, you're acting and thinking because it feels good, because it feels better if not good. You don't have to get to feeling good yet. Maybe you're not there yet. If you are clinically depressed, it's not likely that you're going to do any one action or have any one thought that's going to make you super happy. But you can feel a little bit better. Just keep shifting in that direction. So we're talking about our mindset. Start to ingrain some beliefs that help you out, because chances are, if you're in procrastination, block, or burnout, something's been eating at you. There's a belief system that is clashing with your desire. Okay, so then you can start to feed yourself some good thoughts. Don't have to worry about what was wrong in the first place. Just start feeding yourself some good thoughts, some stuff that'll make you feel better. I can enjoy doing this thing I've been putting off. I used to really love spending hours at my easel or in the studio. I can find other things, other creative things that I enjoy doing and can be just as creative. then you're wanting to also acknowledge that connection. Because this is the part where once you've taken that relaxation part, ideas will start to flow. Okay? So acknowledge those ideas that are coming to you, even if they're crap ones, because now it's time to act. And this is where you start to translate and practice. So translating just means that you're going to take whatever it is that you are feeling, and it's becoming thoughts now, and you're going to translate it into a piece of artwork. What that means is, for example, for me, when I'm driving, I'm not thinking about all of the other stuff I've got to do because I'm just driving. And then when I put on a piece of music, I get a feeling from the music. Then the thoughts, the lyrics start to play with me. The feeling of it starts to play with me. They start to interact. I start to see a story in my head. Okay? This story that's playing out because of the music. Okay? And then I see the story, but I write the story down. So I translate the pictures that I'm seeing into words. Okay? This is feeling first. The music makes you feel something, but that causes me to think. And in my head, these stories are playing. And then I take them and I put them into words, and booyah, there's a story. Okay? And I've literally come up with entire novels this way. So this is where you also get to practice, because you're going to do this, you're going to do the action part lots. Okay? The thing that I really want you to understand, though, about the practicing part of it is you don't have to be good to be amazing. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you don't have to be the best animator in the world to make the most popular animation in the world. Matt Groening was not the best artist. He didn't make the best animations. Like, his animation skills were not the best in the whole wide world. But The Simpsons ran for at least 30 years. They're probably still running. I haven't seen them in a while. But the point is that was a long-standing show. But he didn't have to be the best drawer of people. He didn't have to be the most wonderful creator of characters. He didn't have to be the best animator in the world to create it. He created the idea, the inspiration came because he received this idea that was appealing to everyone. And that is often our intent, to appeal. Okay? So you don't have to be the best painter to have success painting. Okay? You don't have to be hyper realistic to be able to be a most wonderful painter. Okay? You can take what you feel and translate it into something and have it become something wonderful. Okay? And that is part of your wonderful journey as an artist. So I hope this has been really, really helpful. Went a little bit longer than I thought that it would. But if you've made it this far and you are wanting some help with all of this, just put the word OCP. Just put OCP in the comments, and I will send you all of the details on how to get help with that. All right. Thank you, guys. Love you. Have a good one.